Welcome back to the Fire Emblem Awakening playthrough. Last time we recruited yet another child character, and it took a really annoying Paralog to do so. This time we'll hopefully be doing a slightly less annoying Paralog. Only 2 more of them to go, so let's get right into this. We're almost there. And okay. Well, a skirmish just vanished, but several just reappeared. Right then. After the last chapter, let's just check the barracks quickly. No supports, but a few individual bonuses. Magic and speed, that is literally perfect, because I'm going to use him in this next chapter, and those are the best stats that, this line's actually kind of interesting, because I guess Sairi is now the ruler of Chonsin, now that her brother's gone. Pointless conversation, another pointless conversation. Libra and Tiggy is interesting, though, because, Tiggy is technically the child of one of the gods he worships, so that's interesting. And is that? Oh, it's Laurent, not Rickon. And experience. Not that he didn't already have enough experience in the last chapter. Anyway, we unlocked a whole ton of supports in the last chapter. So, I'm just going to go through a few of them here, because I don't think I'll have time for them all. I definitely want to do, Na's supports with both her parents, though. Firstly, Noe.
So, hey.
Oh, that gives me flashbacks, considering I watched a certain thing recently that made pretty flowers incredibly creepy.
Nope. Huh? Yay.
Why would a random baggage train have a book on the use of Dragonstones? There seem to be barely any manaketes left.
Trust me. Aww. So... We'll be fine.
So as you can tell, Na is quite a contrast to her mother's personality, but we find out something interesting about Noe here. Most of her personality is kind of an act she puts on. She feels like it's her job to keep everyone in the army smiling. I guess she does have a point there. And now this support. This is probably one of the weirder father-child supports in this game.
Huh? Yeah.
Well, like we found out before, she just does it to cheer up the rest of the army.
So...
Again, she is kind of deliberately not acting her age.
Huh?
And here we get the weirdest thing about this support. So, there's a TV trope called "What Does She See in Him?" that's about someone questioning why 2 people are even a couple. This is a bizarre case of a kid from the future doing that for their own parents. That's incredibly bizarre. Jan was obsessed with keeping his parents together in the past. Na wonders why they even got together. And then there's this line. This line is even funnier if her father is Henry, because if her father's Henry, considering the way Henry and Noe's supports end, that's almost exactly what happened.
Hooey!
Trust me.
Huh?
Yeah!
Because your supports are really heartwarming and because they made you super broken. Honestly, you should be really glad that Donnie's your father because, yeah, you'll see in a moment just how powerful she is. And I specifically used Style in the last chapter to try and max out her support, Chell's support with him, so let's do that.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Well, she's finally made something vaguely resembling soup. And here's, yeah, where we, find out exactly why Stahl knows stuff about cooking. Yeah, considering Stahl loves food in the first place, he definitely would have had to learn to cook after marrying her.
Huh?
But Stahl and Sully do get on pretty well together. And yeah, finally she gets to experience being a normal family. Well, a normal family that gives people food poisoning all the time, but that's actually surprisingly normal considering some of the other families in this game.
So,
Thank you.
This is interesting because the Avatar makes soup that tastes like dishwater in their supports with Pan, so... And she actually likes it.
no worries.
Yes.
And so I believe that makes her the first child who has maxed out their supports with both their parents. Fitting, considering she's the child of the first parents that I ever got married to each other. And do we have time for one more? Actually, I'll just check how long I've been recording for. I think we have time for one more. Let's do the Cordelia and the Severa's B. That'll put her up on even footing with both of her parents.
Thanks. Right.
It's implied Cordelia's been giving Severa her dessert for quite some time, so she definitely wants to know a lot about the future.
Huh?
Actually, she doesn't mean it like that.
What?
That was not meant as an insult at all, but it was actually more of a compliment. This support line is quite interesting because I mentioned much earlier when we recruited her that Cordelia's a bit of a deconstruction of the typical Mary Sue tropes in a way. And this is why. Basically, yeah, it shows the consequences of someone who has a reputation for being perfect at everything. Namely, their own daughter developed a massive inferiority complex. Again, yeah.
Wipe that smile off! Listen.
And Sun mode kicks in.
Thank you. What?
But it turns out Cordelia is not perfect at everything. Yeah, the only reason she's a Pegasus Knight is because she's a lousy runner. Interesting there, but we do get to see a bit of a different side to Shell there. Now, this skirmish is important because I sort of needed a skirmish lately. One, I think the Severa could do to level up a tiny bit more because she's getting a bit behind as far as child characters' levels are concerned, considering that a lot of the others are level 8 to 10 by now. But, where are you, Nar? Now, I want to do something with Nar. I am a little worried this could make her kind of broken, but honestly, I sort of need to do this. What I want to do is second seal her to a mercenary. Now, her current stats, you might think, oh, those stats really aren't all that high. What's so broken about her? Well, look at what her stats turn into when she reclasses to a level 1 in a base class. Those stats on a level 1... yeah, her stats at the moment are actually insanely high. I mean, just look at this. I mean, look at Wyvern Rider there. I mean, that is almost as good as Shersh was when she was... I mean, that's better than Shersh was when she was starting out. And just... also look at all these class options. She got Pegasus Knight actually from Donald because of a weird way his inheritance works. His fighter branch turns into Pegasus Knight, so... that gives her access to Gale Force, which makes her even more overpowered. But what I want specifically is Mercenary. And I don't want to give this transformation too much fanfare because she's not actually going to be a mercenary for long. The only reason I'm doing this is for the skill that she'll get immediately. If I could, I would second seal her also. She's so tiny here, just look at her. Anyway, if I could, I would second seal her right back into manakete immediately after doing this. However, I can't actually reclass her back until I get to level 10 mercenary, so I'm gonna have to train her in that. But yes, luck stat times 2 chance of not lowering your weapon uses. This is going to be incredibly useful for her. Speaking of useful, I'm going to have to take Lawrence Bronze Sword because it is the exact opposite of useful for him. Just learn the hard way that even against magic uses it does practically nothing, so I am not keeping that on him. What I'm going to do here is I am actually going to train Na in a skirmish for a bit, and hopefully she gets as close to level 10 mercenary as possible so I can reclass her back to manakete quickly. So I had Na fight literally everything in that skirmish, and she's now level 9.5, so only 51 experience off of being able to use that second seal, and yeah, she maxed out skill and speed in about 2 levels, so, yeah, she is kind of ridiculous right now. I'm gonna just have her fight one thing in the next chapter, then immediately reclass back to manakete, because that's really, I just want an arms thrift, basically. But anyway, the Paralog we're going to today is the Great Gate. This one, like Owain's Paralog, is also based off of a map from Fire Emblem Gaiden, the second game in the series, and the one that the continent that we're on originally came from. This is A Man for Flowers. We're up in the mountains, and we pretty much already know who we're getting in this Paralog. I didn't need to switch around skills because they're pretty much in the right places.
Oh. No.
What do you mean? You inspire us to move again. Well, this line takes on a whole new meaning, knowing that I've actually started to train her a bit.
Was that all right?
Hey.
And of course, more bandits.
Right.
But this time, we have a special guest helping us fight the
Not
bandits.
today.
This guy.
All safe now.
This is Inigo. It's pretty obvious from the fact this is a child Paralog that this is Olivia's son. And this is the final member of the 4 most popular child characters as voted in Japanese polls. He's pretty popular outside of Japan too. And you'll get a good feel for his, well, one aspect of his character right here. Yeah, good thing we're here because these enemies are actually a bit too tough for him to take on alone. For some reason this is Paralog 6, and yet I consider it to be the second highest leveled Paralog out of the child ones, so... yeah.
Oh, but...
Well, he's certainly interesting, I'll give him that. So this map is also directly based off of the map that it's inspired from in Gaiden, but it has a pretty cool sunset look to it. It's interesting that there aren't many other maps in this game that take place at sunset. It makes it feel pretty unique. Anyway, we have a bunch of level 8 promoted enemies with forged weapons, so yeah, this is why I saved this until quite later. Wait a second. You have a door key. I don't think there are any doors on this map at all. I spoke too soon, but that there is the only door on this map. And you don't even need to open it either. I don't know why that door's even there. Anyway, just serves to waste your door key if you get it. Anyway, a lot of sorcerers with forged spells. We also have some Griffin Riders and also some enemy Dark Flyers, which you don't see every day. They look pretty interesting. Rally movement might actually be a problem here. I don't know if the enemy's smart enough to use rally movement before the rest of the enemies have moved, though. Gale Force. Hopefully we will not see Gale Force activate. And the boss here, Jamil, even he's a callback to Gaiden. The boss of the chapter that looked like this in that game, I believe it was called Dorma's Gate. The boss of that chapter had the exact same name as this guy. Furthermore, he is a Grimleal member as well, just like the boss of the Gaiden chapter was an evil priest, so yeah. For some reason his silver bow isn't forged, which means that he's armed worse than his regular mooks, which is kind of funny. Anyway, though, I've been using the Vake and the Cordelia for a little while now, so I can probably afford to get rid of them. I definitely want to bring Donald Noe in now, though, because I just recruited her. I was grinding up a support with Henry because I want to show Rickon and Henry's B before the end of the game. Rickon, though, I am bringing here, because I haven't used him in ages, and I want to. Also, I want to bring Virion and Shersh, mostly Virion, because there are a lot of flyers here, and they are quite tough. And I'm actually going to bring Kellum here for some more parent-child supports, because we're bringing Noire back. We need as many archers as we can get our hands on. Also Brady, because I'm shipping him with Noire, so I want them to get the boost. And I also want to boost up Brady's support with Rickon a little bit. And of course we're bringing Olivia and Gregor, because we're recruiting their child here, which leaves space for one more character. And yeah, my practice attempts I brought Morgan because I need to get him up to an A with Chrom. So, plus Chrom needs a pair-up partner anyway. I'm going to divide my army into several groups at first. I'm going to send Noire and Brady down the bottom part of the map, but Shersh and Virion don't need to be that far towards the top. I'd rather have Nar go there, actually. Morgan, Kellum needs to be in a position where he can pair up with Noire, and Brady has a rescue staff. I'll be making use of that rescue staff because Olivia can't actually reach Inigo on the first turn without it unless you pair up with a flyer, so I'm gonna do a bit of rescue abuse to get her there. As for the rest of it, it looks like I'm fine with these positions. So, we pretty much nothing more to do but actually start the chapter.
Really?
Yeah, he is not going to last very long on his own. Firstly, going to pair up you, and rescue Olivia down here. And then it's recruitment time.
What?
No hard feelings?
Oh.
Inigo, if you knew who you were talking to, that line would come off as very disturbing.
Huh?
Yeah, you don't know how to reply to that now, but when you find out who he is...
Come on.
But here we see there's a bit more to Inigo than he seems. He's secretly just as shy as his mother. Interesting. Now, this conversation is important, and it's the reason why I did have to practice this chapter a little bit. If you want to get the full rewards out of this chapter, Inigo needs to get 5 kills, at least 5 kills. And doing that is quite hard because the enemies here are much more powerful than he is. So, not only that, but Olivia's base stats being quite low... Yeah, Olivia's base stats being quite low means that often his stats generally aren't that high, and that can be a problem with getting him kills here. But what I'm going to do for now is I'm going to make a save point here so I don't have to sit through the child recruitment conversation every time I restart this. You might notice with Inigo here as well, I passed down Soul from Gregor. Even though he can learn this skill already, it's actually going to be quite useful for him in this chapter because he activates it quite a lot for the most part. Luck plus 4 is a skill unique to Dancer, and in fact, speaking of which, I might I'd probably rather transfer Gregor over to him. Anyway, I'll do that later. Speaking of... yeah, that... you might notice Olivia has a skill called Special Dance that only works if you're a dancer. You might be worried that Inigo could inherit that and it'd be useless because he can actually, well, he can never be a dancer. That's not the case. The skill is rigged so that children can never inherit it because it would never be of any use to them. So it's actually not the end of the world if that's in Olivia's last skill slot. It'll just go to the next skill on her skill slots. Luck plus 4 is actually a skill that Inigo will never be able to have unless he inherits it from his mother. I'm gonna have Chrom and Gary Stu in here just so they can... just so that they can basically take on any front that gets problematic. Okay, looks like the enemy is too dumb to use rally move. Yeah, the enemy's AI is only programmed to use rally skills after they've moved, and rally movement only works if you use it at the start of your turn. Well, I mean, it only gives you the benefits if you use it at the start of your turn. It's funny, because the AI in Advance Wars was actually smart enough to, unless... wait a minute, rally movement actually did kick in, it looks like. Unless it'll go away by the next phase. I'm not sure if that actually still... if rally movement is still going to be in effect. But anyway, we want to lock in these enemies' ranges because I want to actually snipe a few of them right off the bat, just to thin their numbers a bit, and to... yeah, she needs the experience a bit more. Put Brady next to her for some supports. Inigo is going to... you know what, you just dance for experience here. And then Inigo is going to take Gregor, because that's pretty much the only way he's actually going to be having decent enough stats to kill things. Even then, it's still very iffy if he actually does kill things. I'm going to need to use that rescue staff quite a bit just to get him out of danger here. Now, I'm going to do a similar thing, or can I? Let's see. So there are a bunch of Dark Flyers here, and I want to snipe a few of them, but I don't want Gregor to... not Gregor. Why was I... Gregor, Longu, really? Virion, not even close to those names that I said. I don't want Virion to get hit by too many enemies because he's going to be very important here. Though I would like to take out at least that Dark Flyer. Though if it can hit somebody who can't counterattack, it probably will. Actually, for the moment, I might just wait. And see if I can take out a couple of Griffins with, well, hopefully just one Griffin, because I don't want Na to get too many levels at the moment. And Chrom will be, again, I'll leave Chrom here so that he can potentially go after any front that goes badly. Hello there, Dork Flyer. Yeah, they're normally really devastating in this chapter, but, I mean... Na's kind of ridiculous, so she doesn't really care about them. Of course, she can't double these Griffins because... being the child of a manakete, even in non-manakete classes, her speed cap is not very high at all. Wait a minute, are they ignoring? Did I see that right? Did they actually ignore Noire? They have never done that before. I have literally never seen them do that before. That's weird. They usually take that bait. Okay, this means I'm going to have to do things a little bit differently here, because despite him being a sword user, Inigo actually is quite likely to die against all of those Griffin Riders if they get to him.
Is it over?
He can only take on one of them at a time, really. So... let's see. Yeah, I'm going to elf under you.
Nothing to fear. Watch this. Put out.
The sunset does look pretty cool, although I admit it gets a bit glary in battle scenes sometimes. So, yeah. Inigo has problems against these enemies, let's just say. And my one rescue staff user is now occupied. Great. If Inigo gets hit by only one of the Griffin Riders, he's usually fine, but I don't want him to get hit by a Dark Flyer as well. Honestly, I mean, even Gregor's having trouble here. Of course, Wormslayer doesn't work on Griffin Riders now that they're not considered dragons anymore. And there's a ton of enemies up here. The good thing about this map, though, is you don't have to worry about the enemies inside the forts, because they won't actually move until you get into their ranges. So you can just sit here safely dealing with the first wave of flying enemies, and when they're gone, then you can worry about the enemies inside the fort. May have to Donnie kill something here. And then I may have to use, again, I kept Chrom back towards the start of the map for damage control, and I may have to use him now. Donnie's pretty much fine on his own without a pair-up. I normally like to make Donnie a Dread Fighter, considering that he tends to get pretty good magic. Yeah, that's not really the best. Yes, yeah, I'm gonna have to maybe... Let's see. Switch over to Gregor just in case any of the... Yep, they can reach him. And again, Chrom goes down here for damage control, even though he can't actually... Let's see. You're out. No, there's no way I can actually block that Dark Flyer from being able to attack Gregor. Okay, that's, pretty useful. Wow, Chrom has the most generic father reply ever. And I'm pretty sure Olivia will survive that. Yeah, she will. And now everyone's going to pile in on Virion. Let's just hope he can survive the turn. That is useful, even though, yeah, Wyvern Rider dual guarding a wind spell doesn't make any sense on any level, but, yeah, normally, if you're a Wyvern Rider, you would not want to be jumping into a wind spell, but, guess it makes some kind of sense here. This, though, I would like to dual guard, or dodge that, that's good too. Also, complete overkill, but you deserved it. Yeah, that's 63 damage on a, like, 48 HP or 47. And that is also a thing of beauty. I'm glad that you went for Nah, because you are pretty much no threat to her. I say that in kids, but that's fine. See, here's where things get kind of annoying, because now I want Inigo up the top part of the map, because the enemies there are more weakened. It's difficult to predict just which front will have more enemies that he could kind of snipe, but I may be able to, through a combination of Olivia and Brady, rescue Inigo all the way up to the top part of the map. And that way he might be able to leech off a few of them. Oh, but of course these enemies attack Noire in close range. I mean, admittedly it is pretty smart for them, but still. Except you went for Brady.
Don't worry, I'm here.
If more of these hit, Brady might actually be threatened here, but I'm pretty confident about him surviving. His stats are pretty high all round at the moment. And you didn't go for Olivia, really? Are you going for Gregor because of the 5% crit chance? I actually think they were going for the 5% crit chance, which kind of scares me. Problem with that is Rickon. How much damage is Rickon going to do on the dual strike? Though this isn't inaccurate because this is going to take into account pair-up bonuses. And the pair-up bonuses are actually quite considerable. The crit rate's not that high, though. Okay, firstly though, let's deal with some of the enemies up here. Let's see. Let's hope Nar can take you down. And she couldn't. But she's getting pretty close to... Yeah, if you go for Nar and no dual strikes, you're, well, dead. And let's go and... Yeah, I can just use the silver bow. I probably need to take on at least one of these Griffin Riders, otherwise Virion's in danger. Don't worry, Shursh will get some time in the sun, but only after the Wind Tome users are gone. Don't want to leave them around her. I would like to leave at least one of these Griffin Riders for Inigo. Because, yeah, he needs to get at least 5 kills. It's pretty easy to keep track of how many enemies he's killed, though, over the course of the chapter, because he tends to level up automatically every time he gets one. Meaning that if Inigo ends the chapter at least level 15, you're fine. I like how this is another one of those child paralogs that encourages you to train the parent. I mean the child. That times 3, that will kill, but that's not a particularly high crit rate to put my faith in. And Chrom will most likely dual strike that one into oblivion, so... Yeah, what I want to try here is, even though Brady is my only healer on this map, I'm going to try this. If Ricken dual strikes, then maybe this one will be on low enough HP for Inigo to finish it. Ricken didn't dual strike, so that's completely pointless. Okay then. How about... Though, let's see. Chrom's stats are kind of insane, so... Let's see. Okay, waste my last use of Arcfire. If I get a dual strike on Chrom and he doesn't do something ridiculous, or scratch that, I'm getting an Ignis. But Chrom didn't dual strike, okay. Let's see now. Just gotta, that Griffin. No, he's out of range anyway. Okay, so... I hope Inigo can get his first kill here. If he doesn't get the critical, I can have Olivia dance for him. But he did get the critical. Well, that's almost a level up, so that's 1. And if I'm lucky, I could get 2, but I have a backup plan in case I'm not lucky. Okay, that's actually very bad. The only way that I can do this is to destroy my backup plan. Yeah, my backup plan is, just finish this enemy with Noire, but I have to move Noire for Inigo to even get... Well, that's really annoying, because that means that I have to bank on Inigo criticaling, otherwise we're kind of dead. And, yeah, I'm not willing to take that risk. Sorry, Inigo. I'll have to find another kill for you elsewhere. I mean, that could have paid off, and it is early in the chapter, but I just want to get this done. I don't really want to risk a restart over something that I could very easily prevent. That's an unusually bad level up out of you. Actually,
Time to tidy up.
depending on how things go, Inigo could get that Griffin. Let's see if I can... 2, 3, 4, 5. The problem with Inigo is his movement is... I can switch over to Gregor to get extra movement, though. And I may not even need rescue staves here. Okay, let's go for kill number 2, but this may not work. Just look at how much damage these enemies do to him. Okay, I need a dual strike here. And I got it, okay.
Thanks.
So that's 2. 2 out of 5. Though I do kind of want to go for 6, because Inigo himself said that if he got 6, then maybe he'd get a kiss from that girl. So that's 2 out of possibly 6. And now comes the arduous process of Brady needing to heal everyone, because he's the only healer that I have at this point. And his staff rank is still only D, because I haven't really leveled him up in Priest much.
Sorry.
That is one downside of promoting early, well, or in my case, reclassing early, is that you miss out on weapon level ups. And Chrom and Gary Stew. So yeah, the enemies inside this fort won't move yet, but you do need to keep an eye on the assassins, because some of them have pass. And the pass skill means that even if you try and choke point this area off... So yeah, only one of these ones had pass. In my first attempt at this, almost all of them had pass, and that led to some interesting situations. It's not fully safe for me to use Shersh on the defensive here, because there are a lot of sorcerers here. Now, I actually maintain that the sorcerers are the best enemies for Inigo to try and get kills off of, because, yeah, he generally doubles them, and they tend to have weaker defenses and go down to criticals more easily. Kinda glad they gave him this killing edge to start with, because otherwise it would be very difficult to train him here, due to his kind of low damage output. Okay, so let's see. Who do I want to provoke at this point? I almost want to just put someone with long range here, just to make sure the assassin with the silver bow actually just kind of dies immediately, so that I don't even have to worry about him. I mean, the pass guy, so I don't have to worry about him. Though I don't want to get destroyed by sorcerers either. Plus, we have a couple of assassins here. I guess I'll start with Kellum, to make sure that he equips something. And who else is going to guard this point? It would be kind of hilarious to use Na here, but I only need her to finish one more enemy and then she'll be able to reclass. So I'm going to just use Donnie here. And everyone else can just hang back a bit. So yeah, enemies in the fort, they won't actually move until you get in. I like the battle background for the fort though. Oh, also Donnie and Kellum are supported, I just realized, so that probably means more dual strikes, which I actually don't want here, because no, you didn't save my hide. I want to weaken these enemies for Inigo, so the assassins can be decent targets for him if they're weakened. But yeah, the background here, I personally think it looks almost like, okay, either something out of a Zelda game, or the ruins in Noki Bay in Super Mario Sunshine. I'm not sure why it reminds me of that, but it just sort of does. And 15's exactly enough. I can get Inigo number 3. Gotta watch out for that general, though. And Vantage! Well, that was an insanely lucky miss. Well, that almost gave me a heart attack. I kind of forgot about Vantage, but we are, in fact, all safe now. That is number 3. In contrast to Severa, Inigo tends to be more of a skill-speed-oriented mercenary, especially speed. He doesn't like getting attacked by generals, though, so... Let's see, can any sorcerers attack from... I want to keep Shersh out of range of bows as well, but I think I may be able to safely hammer this guy. Even though he does a heck of a lot of damage. considering how defensive Shush is.
Such an easy trap.
Moving on.
I got annoyed at this music a while ago, but I'm liking it back after the hell that was the last... Also, useless door key, yay. And funnily enough, yeah, they're in the one spot in this whole fort that isn't in enemy attack range. That's kind of amusing.
Hey, thanks.
Na's gonna get hit by the pass assassin if I go there, but the enemies are in for a nasty surprise on the next turn, although then again there are a lot of... I might just for the time being just have someone go here. Only one more use on that steel bow, which might actually be useful for weakening someone for Inigo, but for now I'm going to equip that. Rally everyone's defense, because that can't hurt. Oh, and you have a spear. Gonna have to finish something else with Nah some other day. Well, turn, more like. And Olivia levels up in a child's paralog and barely, yeah, gets anything, but that's fine.
I'll be around.
And yeah, Noire is extremely tanky for an archer, which is what I like about this pairing.
Careful.
Get rid of a couple of these magic users to take the pressure off of the bit, have less enemies sniping us from over the walls.
Is it over?
Regarding Blood and Thunder, Psycho Noir didn't really have a catchphrase in the Japanese version, and now a ton of enemies are moving towards us. So yeah, Psycho Noir didn't really have a catchphrase in the Japanese version, but she did speak in an incredibly different style to the point where she sounded like a different person, so it does make sense that, like, I think it's a pretty good localization what they did. I might actually have to use the killer bow here, because I want that pass assassin gone. Once he's gone, I can safely roadblock here. But pass cares not about roadblocks.
I'm over here.
Thank you.
Okay, now I can get that pass assassin. Yeah, pro tip, Inigo is not good at taking out the generals. You'll have to look for kills elsewhere. He is really not good at taking out the generals. Also, speaking of not good, these assassins with bows are definitely not good for Shush, so I'm going to have to pull her back. Most likely. Yeah, Na gets doubled from those just due to the fact that her speed is not really enough, but simply at... Okay, I'll have Na just stand here. My reasoning for this is going to make sense in a bit. If only that was a ranged attack. That's too strong of a ranged attack. Yeah, I guess I'll... What should I do here? I guess I can take out one of the pass assassins.
It's all right.
Burn in Micaiah's pyre! Burn! Chrom is definitely equipping a weapon, so I don't see why he's not dual striking. Guess they're only B supported. And Gary's still gaining magic and he learned Rally Spectrum, which is going to really help in training Inigo, actually. Might help him double things that he wouldn't be able to double normally. He does double sorcerers for the most part, so they're usually the best things to train him on. At the moment, though, I'm actually just going to have Donnie go there to attempt to weaken that one for Inigo, and then... Yeah, now, shush. Yeah, I can't really leave her there, though. And Brady might do well going up here too. Yeah, we're all kind of clustered together at this point. But that's mostly because if I wasn't concerned about getting Inigo 5 kills in this chapter, and I don't care that you're going to die because Inigo's not going to be able to kill you anyway. Although, if you do bring an Armor Slayer for Inigo, he can take on these generals kind of well.
I will not fail.
I guess Chrom wanted to pay back for me saying that he wasn't dual striking much.
Just as planned.
And Gary Stu planned the whole thing. Chrom's strength is getting pretty high. It's the same as his skill and speed growths, but he's getting a lot of strength in this playthrough. 90% critical is comparatively high, but 2% hit rate, not so good. Actually, I don't want many of these assassins to die. No, not assassins. What am I saying? Sorcerers. Because I want to leave some of them for Inigo. Of course, Gary Stu plans to kill them all himself.
On my mark.
Another assassin. So yeah, Inigo currently has 3.
You tip the scale.
Gonna have to plan this a little bit so that he gets the remaining kills that he needs. Probably shouldn't have had Gary Stu stand here.
Amateur.
Well, at least it'll probably unlock their A, father and son support.
Farewell.
Let's see. So yeah, this I don't really care about too much, but what I want to happen is this general hits me once, and then Nah, just from doing slight damage to him, is probably going to get enough experience to reach level 10. And from there, I can immediately reclass her back to manakete, because she can now use a second seal. And then this general is really gonna, well, he's gonna regret attacking her. And 15 again, that's probably good enough for... Go away, stupid sorcerer. I do need to go for that, but, see, if I get that sorcerer there... Oh, okay, Ruin is really, really not good for... Yeah, Ruin is not a good skill, spell for Inigo to have to go up against. That tends to have a very high crit rate on him. But let's just take the time here to go back to manakete and look at those stats. Those stats on a level 1 manakete is, well, kind of ridiculous. So, Nah is going to be looking kind of broken for a bit, but it fits because Donnie has had ridiculously higher stats than everyone else too so far, though Donnie is kind of starting to drop off a bit now. He usually does around late game. But Nah is back in manakete where she belongs. Yeah, her stats went down kind of severely, but she makes up for it with the Dragonstone bonuses. Now these enemies are, well, they're in major trouble. Yeah, I really... Okay, for now I'm actually going to send you back, because I need to have you take this guy down. And yeah, don't fight assassins with Inigo unless they're weakened first.
Nothing personal.
And that's 4. Could have Olivia dance and try and go for a crit here, but I would rather just that guy attacks. I take that one out. Yeah, I can't switch over to Shersh here. That crit rate, though. I'm a little worried about that crit rate. Could go for Virion's sword here. Though, that isn't actually a guaranteed kill. And he has a high crit rate. I almost feel like I actually need to... Because he'll have a very, very low crit rate against Chrom. Yeah, this might seem like a waste, but this... I'm trying to mitigate the critical chance. Well, I was about to say Chrom might not dual strike, and then that would mean that Inigo has to survive a ruin attack, but he got checkmated, so that's all a moot point. Not many enemies left here. Let's see, I guess... Don't really need the killer bow for this.
Hey, over here.
And no vengeance, that's rare. No vengeance in 2 attacks, even, and no dual strike, okay. Honestly, I would rather that Inigo got that, but doesn't look like he's going to be able to. And yeah, here I think I'll actually heal you with Brady.
You saved my hide.
I hope Brady levels up his staff rank this chapter so he can use better things. Though Mend on its own is not bad. And then get Brady back into the front lines in case I need to use him in combat with a Dancer. I've said before that Dancers let you use your hybrid healer attackers as both in the same turn if you need to. And yeah, now the enemies are, well, this guy's doubling her now, but yeah, as you can see, 2 damage. I like to see the looks in their faces when the little girl mercenary just suddenly reclasses back into a dragon and they're like, oh crap. That dodge was actually pretty good.
I'm right beside you.
And this guy going down could mean that Inigo might actually be able to take out this other assassin and get up to 5.
So tired.
It's like a more extreme version of Donnie's Paralog. Back there, we just needed to really only get him 1 kill, but here... yeah, Noire's stats are good enough as it is. Nah is doubling with Dragon Stones. Yeah, that's how broken she is. Except now I'm going to need to take out that general if I want Inigo to get down there. Although, I have an idea. Wait a minute. Yeah, Chrom's all the way over there. Though, I could, provided that I... I have an idea, but it's gonna take a fair amount of... Okay, so firstly... yeah, that's a one-shot on Shersh. Unfortunately, have to use Virion for this. Virion's really getting the lion's share of the glory in this chapter. Ouch. Okay, I think that's probably the one for the Bards critical clip. When I first heard that, I had no idea what he was saying. I either thought that he was saying 1 for the road or 1 for the boat, whatever that means. And that, yeah, gets rid of most of the enemy ranges there. So what I actually have to do here is, I need to retreat Nah. I need to retreat Noire as well, although rallying could help. Then I need to move Chrom down here, just to get the convoy. Except if I do that, I won't be able to get Olivia to... ah! See, my plan was to convoy an Armor Slayer, have Inigo use that, and then... will the assassin double Inigo? 25 speed, 29 speed. The assassin is just off of doubling. So yeah, by putting Chrom there, having Inigo go here, convoy an Armor Slayer, which I do have in the convoy, use the Armor Slayer to do exactly enough to finish this guy, or get Pavised. I'm very glad that missed, otherwise this would have ended very badly.
Guess I win.
Guess you actually almost didn't win. Due to that stupid Pavis. I think that gets him 5, but I want to see what happens if he gets 6. That sorcerer can't reach him anyway. Oh, you have Vantage, though. But if you keep equipping that bow, I'm hopefully safe. And now...
We've got this.
Heal. Brady's getting very good at healing at the moment. And then heal someone else who needs healing, wherever they are. Where's someone else who needs healing? Virion, but I don't think I can reach him this turn, so might as well get a bit of support points by healing Brady's future waifu. And yeah, okay, the guy did attack in close range, which is probably even better for me, actually. Oh, no soul, that would have been pretty cool. So that's definitely more than 5, that would be 6. So I'm pretty much set here. Yeah, if he's level 15, he's definitely got at least 5 kills. So I'm basically set for this. I no longer have to worry about, weakening any more enemies for him, which means I can be a lot more reckless with what I do in this chapter. You have a tomahawk, okay. And you... Okay, neither of you have wind. What I like to do now is position my troops on both sides to kind of pincer attack the boss. And if I could bait the boss into equipping a bow and then have Inigo finish him off in close range, that would be pretty cool. Maybe send Donald down there and Nah down there as well, even though I really don't need Nah to get any more. Can't actually get to Brady with Olivia though. So I'll send these ones up the top end. And might as well dance for Nah here.
Okay.
You know what? She doesn't even need Dragonstone Plus. Let's just watch the hilarity here. Kind of wanted you to go first because you will probably not die to this. But then I might be able to Armor Slayer you later. So I heard you like dragons, so I'm now attacking you with 2 dragons at once, and you two are both moving, okay. That's actually fine by me. I'll take you out with exactly enough damage, and then I'll wait for the sorcerers to come to me and hopefully try and killing edge a couple of them.
I win.
Nah always wins at this point. There is no such thing as her not winning. Though I want her luck to go up so that she has even more chances of... As you can see there, her Dragonstone is still at full uses because of Arm Thrift, because Arm Thrift is that good. Though I'm gonna need to very quickly dance for her there, and let's see. I'm gonna bait these sorcerers into attacking Donald so that they don't actually die. And I healed the wrong person.
I appreciate it.
Well, at least he now can heal Inigo. Yet more attack baiting. And speaking of baiting, the boss is not going to be able to come for us until we get in his range. Waste. Okay, Waste is kind of a threat to Inigo sometimes, so... As far as the sorcerers that you're thinking of having Inigo fight, maybe avoid the ones with Waste. Also, Pointless Vengeance. Yeah, because if the enemies hit both their wastes, then Inigo tends to kind of die. It's not a high chance of hitting both the wastes, but it can happen, and you don't want it to happen. I would rather leave the last one for Inigo. I just don't want to take the risk of him being hit by 2 wastes in a row. It's not a high chance, but again, I already have him with enough kills to get all the rewards of this chapter, so I don't want to take too many risks here.
Yeah.
Any levels that Inigo fails to gain in this chapter, I'll just grind him up in skirmishes. There should be at least one Wizen skirmish left after this map. You've never been holding the others back since, well, since the very beginning of the game. Do want to be mindful of the boss's range, though. 38 attack, and Olivia has... Yeah, Olivia's fine here. I will need to repeatedly heal. Yeah, this is the part of the map where it's really hard to see. Nice dual guard, you're not even supported yet. Okay. I am running out of staff uses, but we're almost through this chapter. And Brady can now use better staves. Excellent. Just careful of the boss. Yeah, that's probably as far as I can afford to go. Although if I move Olivia in here, the guy is going to go after Olivia. You know what? I'm not sure if rescue would even work here. There are no free squares around Brady. Would the rescue unit just go there or something? They might. I'm not really sure what... I think rescue works differently in different games depending on... I mean, this particular situation for rescuing. If there are no unoccupied squares around the caster of rescue. Okay. I'll go for that, but I'll have to kill this guy at range if I don't get it. There's always the possibility of... he gets crit, doesn't die, and then uses vengeance. Let me just see something. Yeah, you get kind of slaughtered. There is a slight chance of that happening. Okay, let's hope that doesn't happen. Well, he didn't get crit, so... and no vengeance. Come on! Not a critical, though. But I did get a dual strike.
You work fast.
Well, I guess you take after him, because you've got pretty decent speed. Getting pretty good strength, too, now I think about it. And, well, just the boss is left. Let's bait him into using his... let's see. Actually, Noire can't double him, so I may as well just try and bait him over with Noire. Make sure I go for the bow range so that he equips the bow and thus can't counterattack Inigo, and possibly that'll mean that Inigo gets number 8. Only 2 more men uses, but using 1 to restore Inigo to full health is probably fine. And from here... oh, there's that... there'd always be that one chapter where having an extra door key might be useful, but... I do sort of want that event tile. We're using a door key for an event tile. Hello, Mr. Bossman. Yeah, so he's a Grimleal cultist, which again brings to mind the original boss from Fire Emblem 2. Useless vengeance. I'm actually kind of glad that it's not increasing the damage. Now, Inigo probably won't be able to finish this guy. That's way too much. That's... hand axe is probably fine, though. Shurge hasn't really done much in this chapter, and if I unequip Yurion's weapons so he can't dual strike, of course I gotta remember to equip them back again afterwards. Now, I was about to say Shurge could easily just get a 6% critical and ruin this setup, but... and I just wasted that door key because now they can't get that event tile. Oh well, I called it a useless door key anyway. Let's see. Yeah, Killing Edge is the best chance here. And Inigo gets the boss kill. That line may actually be paid off later, but not yet. We've still got one more child Paralog before we go after Grima, and hey, conveniently, the boss dropped the Master Seal that I need to promote Inigo. Noe and Na heroes. Interesting.
Right.
And the villagers will
thank the
definitely
gods.
reward Inigo here, so
No.
this conversation only takes effect if Inigo gets at least one kill in this chapter.
Right.
But obviously, generic village maiden couldn't have been there to witness it. Even if she's Chrom's wife, she's never there to witness anything because she doesn't even appear in the scene where Lucina reveals herself.
Good.
So, these gifts depend on how many kills Inigo gets in this chapter. If Inigo got 5,
Think.
you get an Elixir, a Killing Edge, a Speedwing, a Bullion Medium, and a Hamron Staff. So, definitely some good rewards there.
There.
Huh? Yes.
And more ring identification.
Quite.
Well, there's only one actual playable dancer in this game, so it wouldn't be hard to narrow it down. Inigo is quite an interesting character, because as you'll see from his supports, there's actually a lot more to him than just flirting.
Huh?
Yes, he dances as well. Well, there's never been a male dancer in the Fire Emblem series. All the male dancer equivalents have been either herons or bards. The annoying thing is, though, Inigo doesn't actually have any gameplay benefits to learning how to dance. He doesn't have access to the dancer class or anything. Well, a certain character who looks a lot like Inigo and totally isn't Inigo from Fates has a skill, though, that gives stat buffs to allies like Olivia's special dance skill, in fact, so I like that they incorporated it there, at least. And back to the embarrassment.
Oh.
Come on.
Now, this is one of those rare points where I actually prefer the Japanese voice acting a lot to the English voice acting. And there's a joke here that's kind of lost because they decided to translate Inigo's Hazukashi yo as just come on, which doesn't really... Basically, in this, Japanese Olivia had Hazukashi desu, or so embarrassing, as a catchphrase. The joke was that Japanese Inigo had that as their catchphrase as well, and they both said it one after the other. Which kind of made the fact that he, despite being a total womanizer, is secretly just as shy as she is, even funnier.
Was that all right?
But yeah, Hazukashi desu. And this conversation only happens, I think, if Inigo got 5, I think.
What? Huh?
So, Inigo doesn't get to, have an evening with Princess Bride reference. Anyway, I'll probably talk about Inigo's voice acting a little bit more because Inigo's voiced by one of my favourite English voice actors of all time, but weirdly enough, he's the one voice in this game I feel was probably miscast. As much as I like Liam O'Brien normally, I don't think he's right for Inigo, and I'll discuss that more later. But anyway, next time we'll recruit the final child character that we need to recruit. We're almost through this, so see you then.